it took about 5 days. We went through Sitka, Seward.
Wow.
I think Vancouver.
Oh, I love Vancouver, Victoria.
Oh, Ketchikan.
Oh, nice.
Haines.
Uh-huh.
Haines is where it docked.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there was more. But Seward's the big one. I think Seward is where they found a lot of the gold.
Yeah, I think isn't Seward further north? Or?
Well, it's named after some famous guy who built it. And at some point it goes into Wasilla. I've lived there. That's the home of the mayor and later Governor Sarah Palin. She was Mitt Romney's vice presidential
Oh,
candidate.
she was from Wasilla. I thought she was in Sitka.
Now, she may have grown up in Sitka. I don't know, but she was the mayor in the 2000s of Wasilla and then later the governor. When my sister graduated in 2006, she was the mayor at the time, and she made an appearance, like the speaker. Actually knew her family and went to a church in Big Lake that her parents went to, and my brother has met her kids.
So what brought you to LA then?
Needed to hit my 50th state, and 7 of them were between Florida and here. Except for Texas. I've been there so many times. Not a big fan. You're pretty MAGA. I mean, King of the Hill really tests my nerve and endurance watching that. Very conservative. I don't think Hank Hill would have been a MAGA, but he probably would have thrown something at them. He loves George Bush. Yeah. But Texas is an interesting place. If you've ever seen Wes Anderson's film Rushmore,
Yes.
that was filmed in Texas. I always think of the Sawyers. Bubba Sawyer. Leatherface. What other famous Texans? Well, George Bush, obviously. But that's it.
I think Texas, yeah, it's a state of extremes. You've got your very, very right wing, and then you've got Austin, which is very, very left.
Yeah, I've heard that several of the really big Texan cities are blue. I call them a little oasis in the midst of MAGA. And I've known a few gay people that lived in Austin, and I said, "Are you afraid when you leave the city?" And they said, "A little." A little, yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who was originally from Boston, and then he was living out here, which is when we met. And then after he got married, they decided to move to Austin. And now he's a life coach, and he has a yoga studio in Austin. So I'm like, well, good for you for standing up blue. Texas.
It's either Austin or Houston. There was a restaurant I wanted to go to while I was driving through. And I think Toby Hooper filmed a very famous movie there. And they turned the film site into a restaurant.
Well, Houston, I went there on business, and it was a nice city. Very cosmopolitan, very big. So I think that one is very, as my husband calls it, purple, where it's a nice mix.
Swing. Funny. But I went through Waco because I wanted to see the Mount Carmel. And I met a lot of people from Waco through Lyft, and they don't know what Mount Carmel is. And I said, "You've lived there your whole life and don't know what that is?" I mean, when I say the word Waco, usually one thing flashes through their mind. Either Baylor or U.S. Army tanks.
Yeah.
I think Baylor is a Christian university.
Yep, there's a lot of those in Texas.
I'm not surprised. I mean, my white supremacy, Christian fundamentalism, 12 years of high school was from Pensacola, Florida, the curriculum.
Yep.
Should have seen that coming.
Yeah, Florida has a lot of
Fascists?
yeah. So we California does too down